Hello, YouTubers. Hello, my crafty divas and divos. You know who you are. Today, I decided to go ahead and do a let's craft together video. So this one's going to be a little bit long. I'm kind of in the middle of working on the purple journal. So I don't know if you remember, but I had made a couple of these little journals with my daughter Nyla. And Nyla hasn't really worked on her journal anymore. I think she's just too busy with school, and her graduation is coming up from high school, so it's a really busy time for her. But I'm enjoying my little purple journal, and it's kind of reminding me of spring. I took the pages of the Indigo Wild catalog in an envelope for the cover to make this journal. And yeah, I'm kind of been working on going through here and starting to work on embellishing it. So I'm just gonna turn the camera. You see, I have a very messy desk, which means that I'm definitely in creative mode when my desktop looks like this. I just have a lot of stuff going on when I'm working on a project. And I have to kind of have it all spread out where I can see it. So I've kind of gathered some of the elements that I think will look nice in this journal. And once again, I've pulled out the embellished envelopes. I picked out the nice purpley ones that I had done. This was in the back of this month's Country Living magazine. It was a white cow, and I decided that she needed to be rainbow. She needed to be a rainbow cow. So I colored her in this morning. The internet was out for a while, and I was like, well, I'm not going to waste my time while Dave gets this thing straightened out. I'm going to go do something. So I colored the cow. But I don't think she's going to fit in this journal. So she's going to have to, go into hiding for a while and make a debut in something else. Maybe I'll do a hippie psychedelic journal someday, but it's not necessarily in the works right now. So I just have to figure out where to put her. Oh, I know. I put her here with all of my hand painted papers and stuff. That'd be the perfect place for her to go. Okay, so I'll just kind of give you a little bit of a tour of what I've already done. So Zoom Bar catalog that you buy Zoom bars from, and I really like Zoom, their products, the Zoom bars and stuff. They're just, I had a friend that turned me on to those, and they're just really tasty. Here's a Sri Yantra. I drew this by hand and colored it by hand. So it's not the most perfect Sri Yantra in the world, but this catalog is going to be a little bit kind of metaphysical. This book, and that because I think that's kind of the spirit of that company, Indigo Wild, and so I'm sticking kind of with the original theme of what the catalog had in it. I mean, that's a cool page all by itself. That was just in the catalog. But anyways, here's a piece of a fractal calendar. An old fractal calendar. Once again, the Hancock fabrics are making an appearance. And then I had a seed catalog, so there's pretty green vegetables and things. It's just kind of a very spring-like catalog without necessarily being spring-themed, but I'm kind of going in that direction. So, here I had that one. This was a picture in Quilting Arts magazine of somebody's beautiful work. So, unfortunately, I don't have the name of that person, but yeah, if you see your art in my journal, please, hope you're not offended, but it was pretty. I liked it, so I used it. I'm not selling this. I'm not reselling it. I'm not claiming that was my own original art. I'm just taking elements of things and collaging and playing with them for my own satisfaction. All right, and this was some of that wrapping paper. And again, another piece of painted page, drop cloth, more Hancock fabrics, and that's pretty much it. So I've been kind of going through this stuff. I'm having a little bit of a hard time at this point because there's so many decisions to make. And I mean, I think I got a pretty good start on things. I cut this out of the Quilting Arts, and I like the little Buddha quilt. And this was done, I'm going to have her name somewhere in the catalog. Oh, where'd it go? Here it is. And her name is Darlene Veltman. She's from Portland, Oregon. And the name of the quilt is Om is Where My Art Is. I just love it. It's beautiful. I can't imagine the amount of work that goes into making one of those. I guess it's probably similar to making an art journal or something, but I mean, you know, these are labors of love, so we do it because we want to do it. I also had a catalog. I used to run a little metaphysical bookstore, so for one of the local churches, and so some of these little pictures here came out of the catalogs. They're old catalogs, and I ended up opening my own store a few years back. And so I did end up ordering some of the things from the same company that was going into my little store. I had my little tie-dye shop in our downtown area. So anyways, this is, there's all kinds of cute, and I'm calling it Little Thoughts. So this is a little book that I'm working to put in there. It says, empower your soul. Please don't support war. Hug kids. Forever blessed. And there's a little journey, picture of a little journey or a little road. And it says go in peace on the back, which I really like. I might do a little more to this book. I don't know. I'm setting it aside. It hasn't really found its home yet. Okay. I also pulled out a stencil thinking I might want to maybe pull out the new crayons, the Tim Holtz crayons, and maybe try to rub some flowers into something. We'll see. And here's another envelope, and I pulled out one of the tea bags and one of the dyed cupcake tin liners. I also have some of my little sparkly pretty stickers. This I found, I think I remember telling you guys I found this one in my stash that I had, and I was so excited to find the ladybugs in my stash. I mean, I've got stuff around here that I don't even know I have. That's, you know, crazy. But I've got so many different arts and things that I'm into, and I'm in a very small space to do it. So, I mean, what I would consider a small space for someone who had actually done professional art at one point in time. I also cut out some little pictures from some catalogs. And one that I really like is the Greek goddess Persephone doll. And she's purple, so she'll fit right in the purple journal. And then there's stained glass in this journal, so I've been cutting out little pictures of stained glass and stuff to put in. I also picked out some greeting cards to maybe work in here somehow. I have, this is that artist, tell me her name, Amy Brown, yeah. I had a bunch of greeting cards in the store back in the day, and there was only a few things left over when we closed down, left in our inventory, and this was one of those things, you know. So I think it's really cute. It's a little purple dragon. He looks like he's ready for spring. And then this is a drawing that's on a greeting card by a good friend of mine. Her name is Marie Carter, and she lives up in DeKalb, Illinois, and she is part of a store up there called Consciously Rooted in DeKalb, Illinois. It's a small town just west of Chicago. And they have some of my tie-dyes there because I went up there last summer on a road trip and I brought some stuff for her if she wanted to put it in the store. I mean, I didn't know, but she definitely wanted it, and they've been selling really well. And I'm very proud and happy to be part of Consciously Rooted, even though it's from a distance. And it's a really groovy little feel-good shop up there in DeKalb. So Marie is just one of the most talented artists I've ever met. Her work is amazing. I'll show you another picture she did here in just a second. But I thought that they looked like they belonged in the purple catalog. And her, she goes by Marie Carter's Creations. And she is, you can find her on Etsy. I think the name of her shop is Spilled Paint. I don't believe that URL is good anymore, but she's also on Facebook. So you can probably go on Facebook and look for Marie Carter's Creations. She is the most amazing doll artist, you guys. That she's been published multiple times in Art Doll Quarterly. Her dolls are just so whimsical and cute, you know, that I just highly recommend you just check her out. I mean, and her dolls are still very reasonably priced for the amount of work and the art that goes into them. They're just so detailed and intense. And you know, she sells them anywhere between like $140 to $200 right now. It seems is about the average price range. And I have one of her dolls and I treasure it. And I would really love to be able to get another one, hopefully soon. So this is another one of her paintings. That gives you an idea of what her style is like. And, you know, she is just, I love her work. Everything she does is just flipping off, awesome, flipping fabulous. This picture up here, well, I'll show it to you maybe at the end of the video because I don't want to ruin the camera angle right now. But I've got one of hers on the wall. Anyway, she's getting married this summer. I'm so happy for her. She's still a relatively young person. It's amazing to find someone that's so young and so talented. And then I found this little clipping out of one of those magazines, and I think I'll just maybe utilize the creative energy part. All right, so enough talk for now. I'm just going to kind of start figuring this out. I have been looking at this front page here thinking, what the heck can I put here? And I thought about putting the Buddha guy there, but I don't know if I like him there. And then I did, I covered up a McDonald's fry box. I put Dave's old passport in there. But, you know, my fry eating days are pretty much over. I'm not really doing a lot of fast food right now because of my diet or my live it or whatever you want to call it. People say don't call it a diet. I don't know. That's just an old habit of thought. To me, diet isn't necessarily a bad word, okay? And maybe that's just the old nurse in me talking. But, you know, I know for some people, a lot of people connotate or connote, goodness, I can't even think today, that diet has a bad connotation. And I mean, to me as a nurse, diet just means a way to eat. It's just an eating plan, you know. That's why we have nutritionists and dietary managers. They call them dietary. So, you know, it is not a bad thing in my consciousness, all right? But I'm not saying that I'm the norm. I know that most people probably do not like the word diet. So I'm just going to call it maybe for everybody's sake a lifestyle change. That might be a better way to describe it. That, you know, doesn't sound so bad, not necessarily for me, but for other people listening. So anyhow, just, I mean, as long as we're on the subject of diet, this video is not about diet. I think we're going to go with the Ultramat gel here. But I've been on Weight Watchers, as most of you know now, for probably about 3.5 weeks now. And I'd say it's going pretty well. I'm losing weight. And I mean, it's not going off in gangbusters, but that's okay because Weight Watchers isn't really designed to take a bunch of weight off of you quickly. It's kind of a slow and steady as you go program, which, you know, I think research does show that that's the healthier way to do it. So I'm enjoying the flexibility that I'm getting with Weight Watchers. For instance, this morning I just had a cup of coffee with sugar-free creamer. I didn't feel like eating anything else. I took my time waking up, and by noon I was kind of hungry, and I really wanted a taco salad. And I knew that a taco salad was going to cost me a lot of points. I mean, we're talking the ones with the fried shells and everything. But I thought, you know what? I made it this far, and I haven't eaten anything yet today. I've got the points, so I'm going to do it. So that's what I did. I had a taco salad. I did not eat the entire shell. That took some restraint from me because normally I would have devoured that entire shell. But I also usually have stuff like tacos with a full sugar Coca-Cola, which I truly love my Cokes. Coca-Cola, as I say down here in the South. Would you like a Coca-Cola? But anyways, I have switched over when I really want or craving a soda. I've been drinking Perrier, and I love Perrier. Call me a throwback from the 80s. I remember when Perrier was all the rage and all the preppy people drank Perrier. And being a former singer for a rock band, I found that Perrier water with a little bit of lime in it really did the trick for me while I was on stage singing. Because back in the day, when David and I were jamming, we were with a band, and it was a hard rock / heavy metal band. We did the big hair and everything. And I was the only singer in the band. So I was the front person, the keyboard player, and the singer. And back those days, it wasn't like these days where bands get together and they do, like a gig with other bands, where they only play for an hour or a half hour or something like that. Back then, a bar would hire one band, and you were the entertainment for the entire night. And we would end up working and doing 4 or 5 45-minute sets in a night. So you can imagine me singing for 4 to 5 45-minute time periods. And it wasn't just, la-di-da. It was, it was really like full out, balls to the walls, opening my throat up. And I would sometimes lose my voice. I really would. I really put my voice through a lot back then. I'm putting some Mod Podge on top. I just like the way that the dyed paper towels look with the Mod Podge. So, I don't even know what I was talking about. I am so ADHD, y'all. Anyways, yeah, it was a lot of work, and it did put a lot of stress on the voice to do that, to sing for that period of time. Things are different nowadays. The bands nowadays just have it easier. But, alright, so I was talking about Weight Watchers. I don't know how I got onto the subject of heavy metal. Anyhow, the Weight Watchers is going well. Like I said, I did eat just the taco salad today, and I managed to hold back and not have. That's right, I was talking about Perrier and how much I liked it when I was on stage. That's right. How much, but I did not eat the whole entire taco shell, so that did take some restraint for me. And I still have like 24 points left to play with today. And for anyone that knows Weight Watchers, that's a lot of points. And I'm not even the least bit hungry right now after having that grilled chicken taco salad. So that is what I like about Weight Watchers. I'm not going to be like, rah, rah, Weight Watchers, rah, 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 everybody do what I'm doing. I don't believe that for 1 minute. I think you got to find what works for you. Whatever that is, if it's Atkins, if it's low carb, if it's paleo, if it's, maybe I need to gain weight. I'll tell you what, the best way I've ever seen to gain weight is eat lots of ice cream. If you're one of those people that's trying to gain weight and you can tolerate ice cream, I say have as much Ben & Jerry's as you want, because the year that my dad died in 1996, my therapist's Ben & Jerry were the ones that got me through it, okay? I literally had like a pint of Ben & Jerry's every day for a month. That was my therapy. It's what it took. I tell people, when you've lost someone really close to you, do whatever it takes. I mean, I don't even care if you got to go and drown your sorrows in a bottle of whiskey or something. Just don't go overboard with the whiskey, please, because we don't need anybody turning into alcoholics over the loss of a loved one. But no, I really did. I was very sad, and I kind of like that. And my father, even though he was an alcoholic, we had seen it coming. You know what I mean? Like, we just knew at some point he was going to end up drinking himself to death, because he tried so many times to quit and it just never happened. You know, he'd quit for a little while and he'd be really good and real motivated to try to stay clean and sober, and then the damn demons would come back. You know, he could never just really end up fighting those demons. He could never really get over it. And it was just a really tragic thing, because anyone that knew my dad, you know, when he was sober especially, was very charming and very intelligent. Just an interesting dude, you know. He flew planes. You know, he had a hobby of, you know, of flying planes. And he was former Air Force. He went to school on his GI Bill when he got out. He served in the Korean War, so he was a war veteran. And put himself through school on the GI Bill and got a degree in journalism and political science, a double major, I believe, or a major and a minor, I'm not sure. But he was at Indiana State University. Then he ended up going into broadcasting. He broadcasted the news on Channel 2 in Detroit. And some of you Detroiters out there might remember a show called Captain Detroit. Literally before there was like the Captain Detroit that they made the cheesy movie in the 80s, different Captain Detroit. But he was the Captain Detroit that would go on in the mornings and announce cartoons to the kids. So he was like a superhero. But there were like multiple Captain Detroits. He was literally like maybe one of the first, I think, you know. But they put him in in a flight suit. And we ended up leaving Michigan to move to New York when I was like 3 years old. And he ended up taking a job working for National Geographic. And he was an ad man. Not an ad man. He didn't write the advertising, but he sold the advertising at National Geographic. At least that's what I recall. And my mom might watch this video and go, no, you're wrong about that. Anyways, I hope I'm not repeating myself and telling you guys things that I've already told you before. Alright, so I'm liking that. I'm just trying to cover up some of the advertising in here. So I decoupaged that down and I matte gelled that little strip down. I had that little strip, left over, and I don't know where it came from, because I love the color and I wish I could find more of it in my stash, but I don't know where it came from. So there's that. And I need goodness. Okay, I'm rolling over things now. I need a piece of parchment, freezer paper here to put over that while it dries. There we go. That will fit. So what now? So I did this little page last night. My journaling sucks. Please excuse my awful handwriting, but I get the Disney movies, and so I get a lot of material from them. And I decided to put Beauty and Beast in there, and it says, some people theorize that Belle had Stockholm Syndrome, but I like to think that she made the Beast a better being. So, and I am looking forward to seeing the new movie with, what's her name, Emma Thompson? Oh no, is it Emma? Goodness, so many Emmas in Hollywood. Anyways, yeah, Hermione. Please tell me in the comments below what her name is. Because I know I should know that, but it shows you my age that I'm not as into Harry Potter as like some of my friends, my little young friends that I worked with at Crocs were. They were serious Potterheads. And I adored them. It was so fun working there with them. I missed them all. But I keep in touch on Facebook, so it's not too bad. Alright, so I'm thinking Buddha should go here, y'all. On this page. This is a piece of that National Geographic paper that I dyed with the Citrusolve. I altered the page with the Citrusolve. And you can look through my videos if you want to see that. There is a video that I did on that, and there's plenty of other people that show you also. Some of them take a super long time, and some of them are like 4 or 5 minute videos. I think mine's pretty quick. I think I did mine in like under 15 minutes. But I painted over the top of it with gold because it just had these great kind of, you know, purpley gold colors in it. And that just reminds me a little bit of Buddha. So I'm going to put him here, I think. I don't want to cover up all the paper because it's so pretty. So I'm getting the trusty glue stick out for this one. Who's excited about spring? Please tell me in the comments if you are excited about spring and if you have any really cool plans for this spring. I'd love to hear it. Right now I don't have any plans for the spring, except I might be going over to Jacksonville soon with my husband because there's a doctor over there that prescribes medical cannabis, and he can get in and out, we think, in a day and be able to go home with the cannabis and not have to take the whole 3 months like his doctors here or the doctors here require, and they require a lot of money, and the doctor in Jacksonville is cheaper, and they have their own dispensary. So Dave has Parkinson's. I know I've told you all that. Anyone who's watched my videos before, if you haven't, then I'll just to fill you in. Dave has Parkinson's. He's not a pothead. He did smoke a few times when he was younger, but neither one of us ever got like heavily into drugs or alcohol. Dave maybe drank a little more than me, but I mean, we're not the addictive type of people. But he had the opportunity not too long ago to try some cannabis oil, and it worked for him extremely well. It took away, number one, took away his pain. Number two, made it so that he could walk, and he didn't have like the dystonia in his feet, and he wasn't shuffle gating, you know, because if you know anything about Parkinson's, they shuffle gait. So, and then I have a friend who also has a husband who was recently diagnosed with Parkinson's. He's actually been diagnosed more recently than my husband, but it seems like his progression's also been faster. All right, I don't know what to do with the information on the lady who did that. It's around here somewhere. When I find it, I'll glue it in. But he's on the medical. Her husband is. They live over there now in Fernandina. And they were able to get the medication from their doctor there really quickly. And it has been a miracle for him. I mean, it's just like you want to just cry when you hear like how profound the change has been for him doing the cannabis. And he's doing something like I think he's doing like sativa in the morning and indica in the evenings or something like that. Like there's one that gives you more energy, and there's one that makes you sleepier, and there's one that makes you hungrier. So if you've lost your appetite because of medication or what have you, you know, there's one that works better for that. So we're really interested in trying to go over there and talk to his doctor. She sounds like she really has it going on. Like she kind of knows what the score is, and that she's ready, willing, and able to help people without charging them an arm and a leg. So to us, that's good news. And I think they also do follow-up visits via Skype. So we don't have to drive to Jacksonville every 3 months for a follow-up visit. Anyways, at this point, anything that I could do to get him off that damn Sinemet that's been the, you know, clinical standard for years and years and years. Anything I could do to get him off of that would be a miracle. Because the Sinemet is a double-edged sword. And you can Google it if you want to. I'm not going to go into a long tirade over Sinemet. This is supposed to be a very happy, crafty video, not a depressing one, talking about diseases and stuff. But anyways, that will be if I do some traveling this spring, that will be it. I'll probably go to Jacksonville. And it would be nice to see my friend. They said they'd put us up, and they live in a beautiful historic house in that historic district of Fernandina. So it would be just lovely to see them. And I really hope I get a chance to go. The biggest hesitation is leaving the house in the hands of our 17-year-old. And you're like, oh, I hear you rolling your eyes already. But no, she's not like that, y'all. She is, she has never even been kissed, okay? She's 17, never been kissed. She's a very sweet girl. And very responsible and very studious. So I know I've mentioned about that to you before, that she's in honors classes and she wants to be a doctor. So she works very hard at her education. I really hope all her dreams will come true. It's seems like it gets harder and harder to finance these days, college education and stuff for people. But we could not be prouder of her. We're proud of all our kids, but she's shown wisdom beyond her years. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside for a second while that's drying, and I've got this catalog here. This is the Expressions catalog. There are lots of really tempting things in this catalog, but it may be a little more feminine, a little more frou-frou than what I normally like to wear. So, but yet there's all kinds of really super cutesy things, and there's really nice pictures of them. So if you like, little cutesy stuff like that, I highly recommend you check out Expressions. And I'm just gonna utilize it for all the cute little pictures. I love the little Fabergé egg style carousels. They look like they said they're 5 inches high. Anyways, the picture's pretty clear, so I mean, I could use that as an embellishment if I fussy cut it. And I was thinking about cutting out some of that lavender. It's nice because each page kind of has a little bit of a theme. So, like, I love her, the little diving lady. And I think when I get ready to do, like, my beach journal, some of this stuff's going to end up in the beach journal. So this little catalog right here is a score. And I love all the pretty little pictures. There's a little butterfly, another one of those eggs, piece of a nice little planter of lavender. So as you can see, I was looking at the purple. I was kind of digging the purple stuff for this book. Here's another piece of stained glass. Even though it's not purple, I might still put it in there because stained glass is sort of a theme in this book. Okay, so I decided I wanted to cut out this picture right here of the lavender bundles, because to me that really looks like spring. Spring has sprung. I have to watch my lisp, y'all. I got this big old tongue. I remember back in the day when people would tease you and say, you're gay if you had a lisp. If you talked with a lisp. It was awful. I went to speech therapy as a kid to try to get rid of it, and eventually my teeth kind of grew in and it became less pronounced, but I definitely still have it. And I don't realize that I have it until I go back and watch my videos. So I'm sounding like this on my videos, but in my head I sound like this. So go figure that one out. Isn't that weird? Like, it's like how you can walk around with bad breath and not know that you have bad breath. You can be like, wait a second, I've got bad breath. Tell me what you think about a lisp. I mean, tell me if it's like, if you think it's something that impedes a person, like if they should really work hard to try to correct it, or if you think that it's just no big deal and that people should not freak out over it. Because I have to wonder sometimes, I've always had a very loud voice and my voice carries. And there's been a time or two in the past when I've lost a job inexplicably, not really knowing why I lost the job. And I pressed and pressed and pressed on one employer at one point. I said, please tell me what it is, because I really, why I was let go. I talked to their HR person. I'm like, because I really want to try to improve myself and make sure that it doesn't happen for me again in the future. And she said, well, honey, you're a little bit loud. And I was working in a doctor's office, and it really was hard to hear that. I mean, it was a blow to my ego, because I'm pretty good nurse, I'm actually pretty knowledgeable and educated on most things, and I really loved nursing when I was doing it. But it's also a very unforgiving and exacting career. It requires a lot of perfectionism. So maybe that's why I love junk journaling so much, because when you're forced to be to fit into certain molds and holes, and you're not really that kind of person, it puts a lot of stress in your life. And I know a lot of my weight came from stress eating. And anyways, I don't know that, nursing necessarily is the best career for me. So I've been working on finishing my degrees out, or I have finished one degree, but I'm working on a certification right now. I'll tell you guys about that here in a second. But anyways, I was really sad and kind of blown away when she told me that I was fired because my voice carries, because I'm loud. And it was one of those situations where they hired 2 people at one time, and they told us that they had 2 different positions that they were considering us both for. But the truth was, they hired both of us to figure out who they liked better. And they fired me because they liked the other girl better, and they kept her for the position. Now, if you ask me, that is a supremely unfair thing to do to people. I had a young child who, at the time, it's right after my middle daughter was born, and I had to pay deposits to get her into preschool so that I could work. And it was her first 2 weeks in preschool. She had just gotten adjusted, and 3 weeks in, I get fired from my new job and for being loud, and had to take her out of preschool. And it was just a blow, I rearranged my entire life and put my kids through something to get a job. So if you're one of those employers out there that you think you want to hire multiple people and then weed them out as you go along, don't do it. It's bad karma, okay? It's bad karma. You fuck with people's lives when you do that, okay? Don't do it. It was supremely unfair. Not only that, but just imagine if you're that person that gets a new job and you think, oh, great, I got money coming in again now. Now we can afford to make this purchase we've been holding off on. And you go and you charge like a new washer and dryer or a new appliance or something that you've been waiting for. And then you lose your job. Now what are you going to do? You're stuck with a payment until you get your new job, till you get another job. So I think it's just a really ugly thing to do to people. Anyways, that's my rant about that. I'm so glad you guys are letting me get this all out today. What do you think of my fry box? I mean, I've seen the fry boxes before. I think that they have like templates that you can cut and make these little fry boxes. But I mean, I had an actual fry box and it wasn't actually too bad. It wasn't all greasy inside. So I said, yeah, I'm going to make something with the fry box. It will fit nicely on this page. But I still don't like how the advertising is showing through too heavily on the back here. So that one needs to be covered with something too. And I'm looking through the paper stash. This is the tissue paper stash that I'm right behind you guys here in my little drawers. I was hoping I had purple tissue paper, but I do not. I got orange. I got pink, which wouldn't be too bad, I suppose. And I had that green. Let's audition it. I don't know. Just don't know. If there's gonna be enough pink in this book? Well, there's some pink. I mean, you know, I like it to have a little bit of cohesiveness when I'm working on these things. The first one I did, you know, this one, the treasure book, this one has no cohesiveness at all. This was just like, what is this? This is junk journaling? Okay, so, you know, when you see here, I go from earth tone to brights to blues to whatever that is to oranges, and there we have pinks and more blues and grays and blues and soft pinks, and I'm going from shabby chic to sci-fi to, so this one's all over the place, okay? And you know, that's the cool thing about doing this with such affordable materials and things is really they don't have to be anything more than just what you want, like maybe whatever you feel in the day. But having said that, for this particular book, the theme is purple. So I am going to go ahead with the pink because I think I'll be mostly covering it anyways, and there'll be more purple coming out after I cover it. I hope I am not boring the tears out of you guys. I really do. But, you know, I feel like we're friends. I really do. Just, you know, like I've heard other YouTubers say that, and it's true. You know, maybe we don't always get out so much. And one of the things that's cool about doing this is I get to be the one that talks, and we can have a conversation later about what I'm saying. That's also cool. But I find that sometimes when I get together with friends, a lot of my friends tend to monopolize the conversation. And I sit there just listening and nodding for the most, and there would be something really important that I want to interject, but I can't get a word in edgewise. And then I forget it because I have so much ADHD, and so there might have been something really important and valid that I would have had to add to the conversation. And then I spend the next 5 minutes trying to remember what it was I was going to say and try to figure out a way to insert it back in, and the other person is still like on and on and on, usually about some story of woe in their life. And I get exhausted. I do. I get tired. And now listen, this is probably my karma coming back on me, y'all, because when I was younger, just like being a person who was too loud and was not aware that I was too loud, I also talked a lot, too much. So a few years back when I was at the gallery in South Walton, the gallery, our owner of the gallery is an older guy. He's just turned 70, but he's a very young 70. I think I told you about him a couple videos back. His name is Dwight, and he's a very dear person, very dear friend, but Dwight also he's got an edge, okay? And that edge is that he's a little bit old-fashioned, and he just doesn't tolerate rudeness very well. And I was apparently being rude on more than one occasion by monopolizing the conversation and not letting him get a word in edgewise. And he would just get up and walk away. When I was in mid-sentence, he'd shake his head and just walk away, which was also very rude, just for the record. But he kind of did teach me that, hey, wait a second. You know what? There's more to this conversation thing than just throwing everything you have to say into the pile and expecting everybody else to just kind of compete for a spot to speak. I think a lot of us think of our friends, hanging out with our friends, spending time with our friends as being something that's therapeutic. And so I think that's where the line gets crossed a lot of times with people wanting to go on and on and on and on and on. I do kind of like the dragon here on the green page. And I could cover this up with some of the tie-dye cupcake holders. This was a cupcake liner that I found was like that. Probably got it at one of the craft stores. But yeah, the cupcake liners. All right. This is getting dry. Oh, and I painted this page with some shimmery purple paint, like light purple paint. I really like how that looks too. And I think dragon might look nice there. What do you guys think? I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna put dragon there. And then I'm gonna call it a day with this video. I'll probably continue working on the book here for a little while. But, you know, the video's getting long at, you know, well over 40 minutes now. And since this has got a shiny back on it, I'm going in with the tacky glue. And also because of the porous surface that I'm gluing it onto, I want it to be able to grab on really well. So I'm just kind of liberally applying some squiggles of tacky glue. And I'm going to take my shellac brush here, my little paste / glue brush, and just kind of smear it around. Smear. All right, so if you've made it this far with me, I've been thinking about starting a separate channel up for the weight loss videos that I've been posting for my weight loss journey. I would probably still talk about it from time to time when I'm crafting, but tell me what you think about that. If you think that would be a good idea for me at this point or not. Because I don't know that I'm really like specifically a craft channel yet. I'm really more of a vlogger, you know. It's more of a just as my life vlog, whatever it is. All right, so let's see how that goes. Amy Brown, I love you. Your artwork is so fabulous. It looks like she watercolors it. I mean, it looks like pen and ink and watercolor to me. But the intricacy, she puts a lot of intricacy into these, like just all the little round circular bits to his face. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not. There we go. Just so much detail in there. Look at those little thin lines. I mean, she had to draw that all out and paint it. I know, because I've done some stuff like that before, which I'll probably show you some other time. I'll do a show and tell video someday of just art and basic stuff that I've done. So, but the problem is, Chris, that you glued the card together and that was not your intention. Crap. Okay. Whew, there we go. Got it apart. All right, guys. So that's it for right now. We're coming up on 50 minutes. I want to tell you guys that I love you and I appreciate you taking the time to hang out and do some crafts with me today. And it is a lot of fun, and I really truly do appreciate every single person that watches my videos. I really like to hear from you. I like to connect with people. So, you know, write me a little comment, say hi, like your video, whatever, or just, you know, drop in. Even if you're someone I know, say, hey, watched your video, give me a thumbs up if you like it. I think those thumbs up mean something. I really haven't figured it all out yet, like what it means in terms of the whole YouTube community. Been still thinking about monetizing this channel, and it's complicated. I haven't really figured out how to do it yet, but I don't think it would be a bad idea to do it. And not like it would bring a lot of money in or anything, but I don't think I'll ever be a huge YouTube star. Let's face it, I'm never going to be a YouTube star, y'all. But my thought was maybe I'll get like a little more, you know, up in the search and the, you know, search ratings and stuff when people are looking for things if I'm monetized. You think about it, it makes sense because YouTube makes money off of you when you're monetized, so they maybe they do bump you up a little higher in the search results. So it might be a way to bring people to the page. So that's what my thought is on that. So anyways, love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let me know what you think of the spring journal. What are you guys working on? I want to see what you're working on. What are your crafts looking like right now. Okay, God bless. Take care. Bye.